thrilled to introduce Debbie from Asthma and Lung UK. Over to you, Debbie.
Thank you for that. So hello, my name is Debbie. I'm from Asthma and Lung UK. We are the UK's largest charity fighting for lung health across the UK. So what does that mean? So there's some things here on the screen. I'm not going to read them out. I'm sure you can all read them. But over the past decade, outcomes for people with lung conditions have not improved to anywhere near the same extent as they have in other disease areas, even though the burden from chronic lung conditions continues to grow. And our vision is for a world where everyone has healthy lungs. And we're doing this by working with others to reduce the number of hospital admissions linked to spikes in air pollution. We're working on air pollution, clean air committees across the UK, increasing public awareness of the symptoms of lung conditions and helping to develop methods to diagnose lung conditions with greater accuracy and speed. And we're here obviously to talk about volunteers and connecting our volunteers and opportunities. And we do have a number of opportunities here in the organisation. You can see all their lovely smiling faces now on your screen. Currently, we are advertising with yourselves for support group volunteers and our cheer squad volunteers, and I'll talk a bit more about those in a little moment. But you can see here that we've got lots and lots of opportunities. We've got over 370 volunteers currently across the organisation. Our cheer squad volunteers do as they say on the tin, really. They'll be out this weekend in force at the London Marathon, cheering on all the marathon runners that are very kindly donning the Asthma and Lung UK vest and running for our organisation. But I'm really here to talk about our support groups and our support group volunteers, and I'll talk about that in a little bit more. But we want to ensure that anybody that volunteers with us has ongoing support and recognition. And you can see a little graph there. So as an organisation, we work collaboratively with all of our teams to make sure that we welcome volunteers, that we keep them feeling informed for the next steps and that they're supported along the way. We work to guide and reward and recognise them. And that could just be something as a simple thank you after each engagement, and to letting them know the impact they had, you know, on any beneficiaries out in the community or any specific results for any campaigns that they may have worked on. And we want to remove as many barriers as possible to create a volunteering experience that's meaningful and fulfilling for each individual. And so, you know, we try and take volunteer circumstances into consideration so we can adapt. For example, with references, you know, people have the option to give us not just employers, but families and neighbours as referees. We can offer travel and sustenance expenses. We don't want anybody who's helping us out to be out of pocket for doing so. We want to be able to train and offer learning skills and development, so we can offer support from direct staff contact, and we have a range of training and volunteer sessions which I'll show you more about. And we want to be able to offer flexibility where possible. So, for instance, our ambassador volunteers can make their own schedules, so they work out in the community, spreading the word of Asthma and Lung UK and lung health out in the community. And our support groups volunteers can pick a day and time that suits them to run a support group on. And we also want to make sure that everything that we offer is person-centred and not process-driven. So we do also take feedback from our volunteers so we can listen to their ideas and learn from them so they can make an impact as well. So we have a number of volunteer training and events throughout the course of the year. So twice a year we do a volunteer induction. So that's for new volunteers that join the organisation. We also have ambassador guide sessions. That's for the volunteer ambassadors. And we have twice a year a lung health awareness day. So that's normally run by one of our very experienced respiratory nurses who work on our helpline team. And we invite people to come along to learn more about lung health and lung conditions, We have a lot of our volunteers obviously have their own lung condition, and they'll be very knowledgeable on their specific lung condition, but might not necessarily know about other conditions. We have an annual volunteer conference and award ceremony. So it's a hybrid event, which is face to face and both on Zoom. And it's a conference in the morning and an award ceremony in the afternoon that recognises the work that the volunteers put in. And we have a trophies that we hand out. It's a really good day. And we also have our volunteer holiday special, which obviously happens around December time. That's an online event. We ask everybody to bring along a cup of tea and a mince pie, and it's just a fun event. Could be a quiz or singing or what have you. We have lots of different things going on. But I'd really like to talk to you about our support group. So I'm a community network coordinator. There's 3 of us in the organisation, and we work with our support groups out in the community, and I cover this area. So you can see on my lovely map there, all those red flags show a support group. However, unfortunately, we haven't got anything in your area at the moment. We used to have a long-standing support group in Guildford. It closed, as all of the groups did during lockdown, and it never got back into fruition, unfortunately. But our support groups are run by volunteers, and they are there to offer peer-to-peer support to people with a lung condition, families and carers on how to manage their lung condition and how to look after their general health and mental well-being. The groups are about making new friends, connecting with people with a shared experience. Like I say, they are run by volunteers. That could be somebody with a lung condition, or it could be a friend or family member of somebody with a lung condition. And they organise the information and support on how to manage and live well with a lung condition themselves in their community. We know that they are vital spaces to provide that support, and people go along and make, that there is a safe space for people to go along and just cough in. Because if you ever speak to somebody with a lung condition since COVID, they're afraid about coughing in public, believe it or not. We've also got a range of online groups, which I put on here, and I put these ones on here because these are our condition specific online groups. We have a wide range, believe it or not, from singing to harmonica, to mindfulness, to chair-based Zumba. But these 3 specific groups are actually run by volunteers with those specific lung conditions. I've just got a quick video, which I'm going to play. It's only a minute, and I'm hoping that it works. So I'll put that one up there because Hazel, who was serving tea at her support group, she's one of our volunteers. She has a lung condition. There was nothing for anybody in that area. She lives up in Settle in Yorkshire. So she contacted us about how to get a support group up and going. And so they've now been going just under 2 years and have a regular, their meetings on a monthly basis and regular people going along. So if anybody is interested in finding out more on how to start a support group, please do get in contact with us and we can talk to you about that and send you all the information. And we are there to offer the support to get those groups up and running. So where are we? We continue to welcome volunteers. We know that we can't do half of the work that we do without the input of our volunteers out in the community, and we want to continue to show appreciation and support for our volunteers and act together to fight for everyone's right to breathe. So thank you very much for listening. If anybody wants to get in contact with us, the email is there, the telephone number is there. You can also go on the website and see, just put in volunteering and it'll bring up how to volunteer and the volunteering options that we have.